What's up, people of YouTube? This troll here bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we are doing a top 10. It has been quite a while since I've done a top 10, so I felt like kind of dusting off that old style of video and bringing it back for the first time in a while. So as you can see from the title and thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the top 10 best guns from Black Ops 4. Now, do please understand that these are my top 10 favorite guns from Black Ops 4, and these are not, you know, what I think everybody's top 10 favorite guns should be, or what the defined list is for top 10 guns. Your list might be completely different from mine, but this is my list, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down. But before I get into all that, could you guys please go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, as well as leave a comment down below. I'd really be interested in seeing what your list is and where you would put, you know, these guns ranked on your list, or what guns you have that I don't have on my list. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. At number 10, I have the Mozu pistol. Now, when the game first came out, or back in the beta, I saw the Mozu and I was like, oh great, a revolver that's probably going to be super underpowered. It isn't going to be enjoyable to use at all. And I was completely wrong. I ended up using it, and I liked it a lot in the beta, and I feel like it's not quite as good now as it was in the beta, but it's definitely enjoyable. Either that or the players are better. But this is a gun that whenever I throw it on, I just have fun using it, so I just couldn't not put it in here, even though it's not something that's super competitive and really, like, top of the line, amazing to use. It's really fun. And in terms of secondaries, it's probably the best secondary, I would say, or pretty close to. I enjoy it a lot. The headshot damage is crazy. Definitely one of the better, more fun guns to use in the game. Now keep in mind, these are all for multiplayer as well. So this does not include Blackout, because I know this gun has like stupid, crazy drop-off in Blackout. So just keep that in mind while you're listening to this. But yeah, multiplayer, top 10 weapons, Mozu is sitting at number 10. Here at number 9, I have the GKS submachine gun. Now, everybody knows that the submachine guns in Black Ops 4 are a little bit lackluster. They're not as good as SMGs. Honestly, this is probably one of the weakest games for SMGs since I probably... Ooh, God, I don't even know. Maybe Black Ops 1? Like, honestly, it's pretty bad in terms of SMGs. Well, no, Advanced Warfare was pretty rough. So probably since Advanced Warfare, this is probably one of the weakest years for SMGs. But the GKS, I saw it, and in the beta, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to really like this weapon because the long range aspect, because I do tend to use assault rifles more, and in Black Ops 3 I really liked the Razorback SMG because it was kind of a hybrid. It did more longer range gunfights than the other SMGs, so I thought the GKS is probably gonna be what I gravitate towards in terms of SMGs. And in the beta, I was wrong. I absolutely hated this thing in the beta. I despised it. Luckily, when the game actually came out, they did make some changes, and I ended up really enjoying it. And I haven't used it in quite a while. I used it for this video here, and honestly, when I was playing with it, I was thinking that this gun was going to land higher up on my list because I remember having so much fun with it when the game first came out. But as I was using it, I did kind of figure out, like, oh, they did make some sort of changes to this because it's not quite as good as it was when the game first came out, but I still did enjoy using it, and it was definitely viable, so it does sit at number 9 on my list. Now, at number 8, this one is going to be a little bit controversial. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, and that's completely fine, but at number 8, I have the ICR. Now, the ICR is it's a good gun. It's also one of those weapons that I feel like is just the only thing that it really has going for it above everything else is it has literally no recoil. Aside from that, it's just average at pretty much everything. It's got decent damage, it's got decent range, it's got a decent fire rate, decent reload time. Like everything else from what I can see is just average, and then it's got like no recoil. So while I can go to this gun, if I'm having a bad game and I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I need to turn this around, I can slap on the ICR and I'm going to turn my game around usually and not run into any issues. It's a very good, you know, head glitch on a spot or turn a corner down a long corridor and just ADS, and you're just going to annihilate anybody in front of you. But for me personally, the ICR is kind of boring. I don't enjoy using it that much. It's just kind of like a it's like a crutch. It's like, if I absolutely need to use this weapon, I can rely on it, but it's not my go-to. At number 7, I'm also going to get hate for this one. I have the Titan LMG, and before anybody jumps to any conclusions, no, I don't use LMGs very frequently. I have used the Titan a little bit. I've used it a decent amount, actually, kind of going for headshots and stuff, but while using it, I just kind of realized that, like, I can't not put this gun on the list. Like, it is a really, really good gun, and anytime that I use it, I have a lot of fun with it. It just destroys the competition, and they have nerfed it recently. It was even more ridiculous back when the game first came out, but it's definitely a really fun gun to use. It's a strong LMG, and I feel like Treyarch always has super strong, reliable LMGs, and maybe you hate that, maybe you like that. I personally cannot stand getting annihilated by people with LMGs, but I also don't want LMGs to be nerfed into the ground. So it's whatever. It's not a huge deal to me, but the Titan is a fun gun to use. It's not my go-to, but it is another one of those weapons that I can just kind of pick up and use and know that I'm going to do pretty well with it more than likely. At number 6, I have the Auger, and now this one was really hard to decide where I wanted to put it, because when I first used the Auger when the game first came out, I absolutely loved it. I really like the DMR style weapons because I can be really, really accurate. Now my scuff is currently broken, so using DMRs is not ideal because my stick just jerks up constantly, and that causes me to miss shots. So right now, DMRs are not my cup of tea, but I really like using DMRs in previous Call of Duty games. They're always like super reliable for me. Like the Shiva from Black Ops 3 was one of my best weapons. Like I destroyed with that thing, and I know this isn't a DMR, but the M8 from Black Ops 3 and 2 destroyed with that. The FN FAL from Black Ops 2 destroyed with that. I just really like the single shot weapons. I do really well with them, and so the Auger had a sweet spot for me, and I really like the weapon. But once again, it's not really a go-to gun. We're gonna get into like my go-to weapons here in the top 5. The Auger is another one of those weapons where it's like, I can go off with it and I can destroy and just annihilate, and it makes me feel really good to use it. That's why I enjoy it, and that's why it's sitting in here, but I definitely could understand why a lot of people wouldn't like it because it's just not for everyone. At number 5, I feel like this is going to be a pretty understanding one. I feel like a lot of people are going to feel this way. It's the MX9. The MX9 is a reliable SMG. It's something that I can use and know that I'm probably going to do okay with it, depending on what map I'm playing on. Overall, the MX9 isn't bad. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, honestly. It feels like it's the ICR of SMGs. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm here. I can do pretty much whatever you need me to do within reason, and I'm not going to be like exceptionally great at everything, but I'm okay at everything at the same time. So it's just kind of like, yeah, MX9, reliable, I can use it if I need to. And once again, it is another one of those weapons that's kind of boring, but honestly, I really like the look of it. I feel like the aesthetic on it is really, really nice. As for a lot of the SMGs in the game, I actually like the way they look, but they don't all play very well. Anyways, MX9 sitting in at number 5. Just honestly, it's a good basic SMG. It does what you need it to do. It's nothing special, but I feel like it's reliable enough, and I do enjoy using it. At number 4, we have the new SMG, the Daemon SMG. It's a 3-round burst, but honestly, if you guys shoot decently fast at all, you can't even really tell that it's a 3-round burst. I didn't even know it was a 3-round burst until I had almost gotten it unlocked, and I was watching videos on it, and I realized that they said it was 3-round burst, but all the gameplay that I had watched before, I never realized it was 3-round burst. So yeah, I mean, it's a good gun. It really is. It's either you love it or you hate it. I personally like it a lot. And in previous Call of Duties, I wasn't a huge fan of the burst SMGs, but this one does not work like previous burst SMGs. And I honestly feel like this weapon was supposed to be in the game at launch, and something happened and they just didn't quite get it in there, or it wasn't like finished yet, so they took time and worked on it a little bit more. I really like the Daemon. I feel like it absolutely melts people, especially on smaller maps, so I'm definitely happy with it. It sits at my number 4 spot. It is one of my favorite weapons. At number 3, we have the Rampart, and I feel like this one is going to take people by surprise. A lot of people I don't think like the Rampart or give it attention or love, and honestly, when the game first came out, I hated it. I hated it in the beta. I didn't like it when the game first came out at all. I had to use it, level it up, unlock some attachments, and once I had done that, I threw on the High Cal 1 and 2. I made a video about that on my channel a while back, but throwing on High Cal 1 and 2 made that thing a complete melt machine. I don't know if it's necessarily a 2-shot kill. I think it's a 2 to a 3-shot kill in the chest and head. So if you're getting the upper chest and headshot kills with High Cal 1 and 2, you're unstoppable. If you're accurate, it's insane. Now, it does have a decent amount of recoil. It doesn't have the best fire rate ever, but it's just a heavy hitting assault rifle, and I love using assault rifles, so this one just it speaks to me. It's high damage. I usually don't have too much of an issue handling recoil on assault rifles, so it's like high damage, just beefy assault rifle. It just fits my needs. It reminds me of the Man of War from Black Ops 3, kind of, but more powerful. It also reminds me of the Scar, obviously, which is what they were kind of going for with that. Fortnite did it so well, they had to put it in Call of Duty. That's all I'm saying. Moving on to number 2, we have the saug. The saug SMG is it's the best SMG in the game, obviously. I don't think there's anybody really denying that for the most part. The saug is a very niche weapon, though, at the same time. I feel like you have to be good with handling recoil. You can't just use the saug, and not everybody's going to be good with it, I don't think. It's not as complicated as something like the Spitfire, for example, but the saug is a weapon where you have to be a little bit more knowledgeable on SMGs. You have to be a little bit quicker and more snappy with your aim, because you can get melted by other guns when you're using the saug. It just depends on how well you can manage recoil. Not like it has a lot, but it does have a decent amount, and how good your shot is. I like the saug on small maps. It's usually my go-to SMG. It's the first one that I'll pick up and use, but it's really good, and I want to know what you guys think about the saug, because I have people that I know that hate it, and I have people that I know that love it. I feel like the people who gravitate more towards the competitive side of Call of Duty really like the saug, which I like the saug, but I also like competitive Call of Duty, so it's completely up to you. Like I said, I don't think it's for everybody. I think people who are new to the game aren't going to pick this up and fall in love with it, but people who use the MSMC from Black Ops 2, for example, I think will find a place with this SMG. At least that's what this SMG reminds me of, kind of, is the MSMC from Black Ops 2. And at number 1, we have the Maddox. The Maddox assault rifle is great. So when the game first came out, I didn't like the Maddox at all. I remember using it and I was like, who the hell uses this thing? I was like, how can anybody use this? It is absolute garbage. And I had to use it for quite a while, you know, because I kept seeing pros and YouTubers use it. I was like, this has to be good. Like, there's no way it's not. So I kept using it, and I kind of got the feel for it. It's almost like that SMG hybrid that I mentioned earlier. You can't get into a lot of long-range gunfights. I would even say, you know, medium-range gunfights are stretching its abilities. I would say stick to the close or short to medium long range gunfights. It's really good. It kills fast. It's got a pretty high fire rate. The recoil is manageable. I feel like it's a very, very good weapon. It is definitely my favorite assault rifle in Black Ops 4. Now, there was one gun that I have not used yet. There is one gun that I have not used yet in Black Ops 4. That is the SWAT. I've only used it in Blackout and very little. I haven't actually unlocked it in multiplayer yet. I'm close. I think I'm like 20-some tiers away. So I will have it unlocked soon enough, but I just don't quite have it yet. And I am waiting and waiting and waiting and looking forward to using it. I'm definitely excited. I hear a lot of good things about it. So as of right now, this is my top 10 list for the guns in Black Ops 4. Let me know if you guys want to see any other types of top 10s. I would like to bring this series back to my channel. I really enjoy making these videos. But I mean, I do have some other stuff planned that are kind of like lists, but not exactly top 10s. You'll just have to wait and see what those look like. But let me know if there's anything you want to see in particular down in the comment section below. Once again, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, as well as subscribe if you are new. Anyways, guys, deuces.